Hello? Sorry, I knocked my microphone right when I switched the screen over because I'm a professional streamer. Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome into this Friday art stream. Hope everyone is having a lovely week, a lovely Friday, TGIF if it is the end of your week. If not, still I hope it is a good afternoon. I'm just gonna be doing some super chill watercoloring times today. And you know what would help? I thought I was prepared for this stream. Clearly I wasn't, because you know what you need in order to watercolor? You need water. So hang on. I'm gonna get some water. And we're gonna do this again. Give me 1 sec. Okay, truly incredible. Well, take 2. Hello again. And welcome. I clearly need more of this coffee than I have currently had because, oh god. Okay. So what's going on? We're watercoloring? Is that what we're doing? That's what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing. But you can let me know what you're doing if you want to. If you are working on art, or if you are doing chores, or just hanging out, whatever it may be. Alright, so this is a painting that I've been working on for some time of my D&D character. And it's almost done, I think. It just needs a few little touch-ups here and there. I mean, it needs a lot, actually. I will. So I need to finish darkening the smoke up on this side. I've mostly done it over here. I need to darken this smoke up. I need to paint the his bottom robes, his skirt. I don't really know what you would call this. I know there's a name for it, but I don't remember it right now. I need to paint that, and I guess I need to paint his gauntlets and his ribbon. And then I gotta take some rubber off. Hey Haley, how are you? Hope all is well. I am, yeah, thanks for saying that. I think it's looking really cool so far. It's been a little bit of a struggle making a yellow character on a yellow background. I'm like, I don't know what the best way to do this is, but I'm trying lighting effects, and it's we'll see how the rest of it goes, but yeah. And also you can clearly see where there's an unsightly blemish up here that I'm definitely gonna Photoshop out, but it's okay. We don't need to worry about that. Oh, no worries. Thanks for the follow, and enjoy your D&D game. What's the hey, you didn't even notice. You know, it honestly escaped me for longer than I would have thought, but I guess it just must have dropped a drop somewhere. But yeah, what is your D&D game? What's your quest? What's your adventure for today? That sounds fun. And which I need to grab another color. Oh, wait, what? If your paper is all cotton, it is. I use cotton paper. You can erase parts using a magic eraser. Is that true? Not is that true as in, are you telling the truth? But is that true as in, I've never done that? Oh my gosh, could that possibly be true? I don't have a magic eraser, but I know where to get one. I should try that. Learn that from an 80-year-old watercolorist. That's so cool. I'll have to investigate that for sure. I would not have thought that. But that's so interesting to learn. People who've been doing watercolors for a zillion years are so cool and impressive. It does damage the paper. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I would figure it would do that in some way. But if you're gentle, you can just shave off the top. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that, could be helpful in some cases. Obviously, there are parts where you'd want to leave the paper as intact as you can. But, I mean, I already, like, only use, I use masking fluid for some things. There's a few parts of this that have masking fluid. And masking fluid already damages the paper enough to where I don't always want to use it. Wow. That's a pretty big square. That's so cool. I will definitely have to check that out. I don't have a magic eraser, but I work at a school where I feel like I could just find a magic eraser in a cupboard somewhere. So, yeah, thanks for the hot tip. I think it would also depend, like, whether I would use it or not would probably depend on what the thing is. Because, like, for this, it's easy enough to put into Procreate after the thing is done and just, like, do some cloning and, you know, like, digital touch up to make it go away. But if it was like a bigger area like the one that you said, or if it was early on in the painting or something, maybe maybe I would do that. And I'm gonna scoot my microphone up because I think my brush might be hitting it accidentally. Game Tonight has been running for 2 years. I play Flair, a half a wild magic barbarian. She had back alley surgery in a Feywild kitchen last game. Oh, how did that go? What did it go okay? If you're gonna get surgery, if I was gonna get surgery, that is not where I would go, but I am also not a wild magic elf, so I feel like if you are, that's more sort of the vibe. Lost a kidney, but then got 2 bonus kidneys. Well, hey, 2 for the price of 1, as they say. The Feywild is always such... the Feywild is always such an adventure. Oh my gosh. This painting that I'm drawing actually takes place in the Feywild, as it happens. This is a scene from one of our D&D games. Her lifespan has increased to 1 year. She's been forcing Warforged parts into herself, and unsurprising, it hasn't been easy. Oh my gosh. That sounds so interesting. Has her lifespan been increased by 1 year, or is it like she had less than a year to live and now it's more than that? She had 2 months and now it's a year. Ah, cool. Well, nice to get an extension. And who knows? Anything, you know, in D&D, anything can happen in a year. So No need to worry. I'm sure more things will continue to happen. And who knows? Maybe another extension. Or a totally different quest. Who could say? Game time is always so funny because it's like, in real life you can be playing a game with the same group for years and years, and in game it will have been like a couple months. So, you know. She's a runaway noble from a family of sorcerers. Classic. Of course, she found a talking sword, of course, and is using him to cast some magic at least. That sounds fun. We love a talking sword. In this house, we love a talking sword. Is the talking sword good or evil, or is the talking sword a sort of an unknown entity? Do we like the talking sword? This does not affect whether I enjoy the talking sword, because I always enjoy it, but it does affect whether or not the character is in trouble or not. Emotional support, war criminal. Oh my god, okay, so I love this character. Okay, so I love the talking sword. She can fix him, of course she can. I believe in her. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. That's great. That's amazing. He's the first Warforged ever created and was torn apart by other Warforged for being a tyrant. But you know, he looked good doing it, didn't he? That's really cool though, to have like a sword that is a fragment of a larger, or you know, a person that has been sort of disassembled. That is very cool. I feel like I might have to drop that concept in conversation with my DM to give him ideas, because we have some Warforged in our setting that are supposedly mostly dead, but I feel like that might not actually be true. Could be interesting. For sure. Okay. I'm pretty sure I said this before, but this paint color that I'm using is pretty much like the perfect pigment for this whole smoky situation. I'm really enjoying the granulation on it. The sword was originally another party member's patron, but he dropped from the game a few months in. IRL, this game has 2 DMs and one of them messaged me, please, during the session, can you take the sword? We worked so hard on that backstory, I think we might be able to keep it if she picks it up. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I love that they were like, you know, the player is gone, but like, this was a really cool concept, so I would really like to be able to reuse it if possible. Or continue using it if possible. I think that's great. Is this the D&D character that you made the zine about? Hey Rain, how are you? Let me try that again. Rewind. How are you? I did, good job. Originally he was for the Warlock. For Flair we turned it into her multi-classing into a Blood Hunter, but we make it all metal themed. Oh, that's so cool. I'm a huge Blood Hunter fan. A huge Blood Hunter fan. It's just so aesthetic. It's just so aesthetic. That's awesome. I can't remember if I did download it yet. I did it on my phone and I'll never find it. So I need to go back on my actual computer and download it because I was very excited to look at it and to read it because I'm a huge zine fan, and it was very inspiring to me from what I saw of it. Yeah, you did link it, and I was like, I'm opening the page to download it, and then I think that was on Secret Satan Day, and I was being inundated with Secret Satan posts and forgot. Because my attention span not so good. But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna write it on my my streaming post-it note. I have a post-it note for things to remember that I say I'm gonna do while I'm streaming, and actually it works pretty well. Oh, that's so cool. A zine fest? I would love to go to a zine fest. That's awesome. And I hope you got some cool stuff in return as well. I need to find out if there's local zine stuff in my area because I don't know of any, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means Seattle is weird and sometimes things happen in secret that I don't know about. It's like a word of mouth thing, and I don't know enough people here yet. Yeah, that's what I think too, that I'm sure they must exist. I just need to find them. It's funny because I feel like in the recent past I have been seeing a lot of ads for zine fests that take place in like other places, like in my college town in Massachusetts. And I was recently there for a reunion, my college reunion, but the zine fest was like the weekend after that, and it was a TTRPG zine fest too, so I was like, oh my god, that sounds so fucking cool. But then it was the weekend after I was gonna be there, so I was like, oh. Okay. Friend is very active and travels around and sells stuff, so I use him for all that. That's funny. I actually only made a zine for him, and then I went, okay, this is awesome, I get it now. Isn't it fun? It's awesome. I love it so much. Definitely want to make more and maybe even trade some. I don't think I've ever traded like zine for zine or anything like that. I've definitely gotten them at like events and given them away, but I don't think I've ever done like any zine trading, which would be cool. Oh, that's cool. I first made a mini zine and brought it home for Christmas, and suddenly my family wanted to learn about my D&D character because I had a booklet. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, mini zines are so freaking powerful because they are so small and so short that you can just, like, you can just make one so quickly and easily and without, like, you know, just so much effort. And they're really portable, they're really reproducible. I love the mini zine format, and that's what most of mine were for a long time, because I was in college and I just had access to like printer paper, and I mean, you can make a mini zine out of any paper, you just have to fold it the right way, right? So it was like, you know, it was very accessible. And the thing I really love about zines is how accessible they are to make, because, especially if you look at, like, zine history, like, the whole point was not that they were these, like, beautiful, fancy things. Like, they were just, you know, they were made for people to see them. Yeah, exactly. So you can do it on your home printer. That's perfect. Okay. Stretching my hand. Yeah, knowing it could be Xeroxed and it would still look good. That's great. I think that's exactly right. I've been thinking a lot about this because I've been seeing a lot of, like, art zines being put together that are a lot of really beautiful, colored, finished pieces that have, like, merch attached to them, and they're printed, like, in a bound version, and I think they're so beautiful, and I really like them, and I like seeing them, but I wish there was another name for them, or something that separated that kind of zine from a zine. But I don't know, I think that's just a personal problem that I have. I don't know. Print at home and bind with embroidery floss. So you can still sell them for like $5. Hell yeah, that's great. I really need to get some either embroidery thread or like wax thread or something for zine binding, because I don't have any right now, and I've just been using sewing thread, which is okay, but it's I would prefer to use something a little thicker. Okay, don't put the water on the page yet. What are you doing? Pick a color. His robes are red. These are high-level thoughts we're having over here. His robes are red. So, but what color of red? A red color. What colors of red do I have? Yeah, it works in a pinch, but it just isn't the ideal. But I use it because I know so many reds. I have so many. I have a lot of reds. I have vermilion. I have perylene violet. I have rose of ultramarine. I have quinacridone rose. I technically have some other reds that are in a different palette. But here's the thing. I need all of them because I love red. Somehow red became my favorite color. I don't know how. It wasn't intentional. And so now I just am like, I need the exact shade of red that I need. And that's just how it is. It's required, exactly. You need a cool one, of course, and you need a warm one, of course, and you need a blood one, of course. And you know, it's just, listen, it's just necessary. But I might do some little swatchies on this little ACO cut thing that I have, because I just want to remind myself what the colors of red that I have are. Oh yeah, I think if I did... Okay, I think if I did some combination of vermilion and perylene violet, it would be correct. Oh no! I have a ton of watercolors. That was my hyper-focus hobby a few years ago, but I streamed like 4 times a week and burned myself out, so that's on me. Oh no. Sorry to hear about the burnout. It's real. It's real. I get it. Yeah. I've been coloring for a long time, but it only became my quote-unquote thing like about a year ago. But I've really been enjoying getting back into it, and I have, since I have gotten back into it, I've gotten far too many new colors. Last year I remembered, wait, I can draw and I haven't done it for 5 years. Why am I not drawing flare? Ah, well, you know, you had to fix that, and it seems like you have been doing a lovely job at it. It's so easy and addicting. Those tiny tubes are so cute, right? I get the 5ml ones that are really small, because like a little watercolor goes a long way. I watercolor a lot, and I haven't even made my way through, like, these are my first splurts of like most of these colors, so they really go a long way. And I got really into also like the sort of sciencey stuff of different pigments, like granulating versus non-granulating, like synthetic versus like genuines. I don't know. I thingy. Exactly. I do not have the attention span and also the time, like free time, to do other kinds of paint where you can't really let it dry. Because like acrylics, for example, sometimes gouache is better than watercolor, or no, gouache is between acrylic and watercolor in that way. Like, it's not exactly the right consistency, but it's pretty close. But like, yeah, I love with watercolor you can just walk away and come back when you can, and the color isn't ruined. It'll just stay there exactly like you had it. That's really helpful for me, because otherwise my paint would just dry on the palette, and I would waste so much paint, because thingy. And anyway, I feel it. And it's really portable as well. People are way more scared of them than they should be. I kind of get it, like, because they do, if you haven't painted with them a lot, I think sometimes it's hard to predict the way they behave, but I think they're actually not as hard as people imagine they are, as long as like you have sort of a set of basic facts of like how they work. And aren't scared of like maybe messing up a couple of times to see what happens. You always try to get people into them, I know. If I ever see someone who's like, maybe I'll use watercolor, I don't know, I'll be like, do it! Do it, please! I want to see it. I want to see your watercolors, and I want to talk to other people about them because I love them. I think my bad habit, though, would be if someone was getting into watercolors, I would be like, don't be like me and get like 20 different colors right off the bat, because I know it's wrong that I have that many. I don't actually think it's wrong. For me, it's not wrong, but I know a lot of people say that you should start with a set of primary colors, like a set of 6, like a warm and cool version of each primary color, and I agree that that sounds so ideal, but consider that I also love colors, and I like to see different ones, and so I can't help myself. I simply can't help it. I must have them. Yeah, I really admire people that do that because it's very powerful to only need 3 colors. And I do feel like you probably come to understand color theory a little bit better that way. So I definitely think there's value in it. It's just I can't help it. I love my colors. Only started doing that recently. Hundreds of paintings later, and I went, I should use 3 colors, huh? I've been contemplating doing like a challenge of some sort, like challenging myself for a painting to only use 3 colors, just to see if I can, because I mean, I'm sure it can't. If I was forced to, I'm sure I could. I just would never want to, so I have to make it like an art challenge. Like, girl, no, just do it. You don't have to make it a whole thing, but... Damn, they were right. You know? So validating and so frustrating when they were right the whole time. That does inspire me, though, to actually do it for real this time. Because, yeah, it's something that I'd been thinking about and just haven't done, but... maybe they were right. That's your pin post on Blue Sky? Nice. Let me see. I'm gonna go look at it. I'm gonna go look at it right now. Wow, that's not... that's not how you use the internet. Oh, this skeleton. Oh. That's beautiful. Ooh, I love the I love the mixed media-ness of the embroidery thread. That's lovely. The blue shadows in the back of the ribcage are awesome. Embroider anything, no one can stop you. So true. Yes, of course, it was lovely chatting with you. Have a good game. I hope all goes well. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by. I love to yap about watercolors. They are my love. Okay, and I did a really bad job on whatever this little part is. I mean, I think I just fucked up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. There we go. I'm using a hot press for this, and I really wish... Well, I don't know. In one sense, I do sort of think hot press was the thing to use for this, and I wanted to try it. I think there are some things that I could have done with this piece that would have been a lot better if I had not used hot press, but on the other hand, I do like the way the flames look with it, and I think I like the torso shading. Kind of. I'm not really sold on the torso shading yet. I think I need to make it... What's fascinating is that, so I have in OBS the preview of the stream open, like next to the chat window, and so I can see like a thumbnail of the painting in the OBS window, which is actually kind of helpful because it helps me sort of blur my eyes to check the composition. And I think the issue with this composition is that there's not enough value contrast between the flames behind Tsuma and his torso. And I think I need more contrast, but I'm not sure how best to do that without fucking up. Yeah, hot press is the smooth one. Yeah. And I also think I need to adjust my my camera colors because his skirt is not that pink. But I'm not actually sure. Do I have any filters on? No. Is it a temperature issue? Let me put my hand here. I don't know what it is. It's something is weird, but I'm not sure what. Maybe if I fuck with the saturation a little. I don't know. The colors are a little off on stream, but not by too much. It's just I looked up and his skirt looked really pink, and I was like, is that right? Is that what that looks like? It looks a lot more like desaturated red on the paper, but I don't know. But yeah, this is 300-pound hot press, which is, it's thicker than, because I think quote unquote standard, or like the most common watercolor papers are mostly 140 press is what I see most people use, and 300 or 140 pound. And I think that 300 pound is quite a bit thicker. I mean, obviously it's thicker than 140. And I have never used 300-pound hot press before, so this was kind of an experiment in that as well. So I intended for this piece to be a bit more experimental, and then I ended up liking it enough to where I was like, I wish I hadn't used this as an experiment and taken it a bit more seriously, but I think it's also coming out well, so I don't really know. But yeah, I'm gonna switch my brush because this one is a little too big for what I'm doing. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Have you ever tried watercolors, Rain? I'm just curious. I don't know if you, I feel like most of your art that I've seen is digital art, so I actually don't know if you do any traditional art. Ooh, yeah. Nice. Ooh, did a lot in high school. Yeah, hell yeah. That's so cool. And then you transition to mostly digital. Yeah. That makes sense. I definitely feel like each has its own advantages and disadvantages. I mean, as with any chosen medium, you know. And sometimes we shift in and out. Like, I was traditional when I was little, and then I got a tablet, and then was digital for a long time, went back to traditional in college because I didn't have a tablet anymore, got an iPad, became a digital artist, realized that being a digital artist for me is like really slow as fuck, and then went back to watercolor. So yeah, I think it's an ebb and flow sometimes. It's nice to be able to like wield different things depending on what you want. Prefer sketching traditionally, but it's easier on your hands to do digital art. That makes sense. Yeah, like, I think also, it's really cool to be able to do both, because you can you can sort of reap the advantages of both in a lot of ways. Like, this sketch I did in Procreate, like, the whole sketching and thumbnailing phase was done in Procreate, and then I transferred the drawing to the watercolor paper because I like sketching digitally, or I like thumbnailing traditionally, then finishing the sketch digitally, and then transferring the digital sketch back to traditional, and then scanning the painting, and then doing the final touch-ups digitally. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. It's very inefficient, but does it work? Yeah, it works. So, you know, it's just a bit of a thingy, you know? But that's how most of my painting has been going the last many moons, except for things that I've done solely digitally. The traditional art has all been like thumbnail in my sketchbook, transfer to Procreate to make sure that the sketch doesn't look funny, and then so on and so forth. It's a process for sure. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's right. There's no reason why I shouldn't do it this way. It sounds more involved than it actually is. The steps themselves, at least for me, are not that crazy. I think it just sounds weird when I'm like, oh yeah, I do this and then I do that. But it works fairly well, I think. I'll probably take a break here in a couple of minutes. Just a quick little jaunt to change out my paint water and also get new human water. Hydration water is maybe a better way of putting that. That doesn't sound a little creepy. Oops, I didn't mean to smudge that smoke, but it's okay, I think. I did. Actually, I think it's fine. I've been meaning to buy a new tablet because I've used mine so much to the point that some of the coating is starting to come off. Oh my gosh. How old is your tablet? That is very impressive to have given it so much love that it is sort of a... I don't know if you've ever read The Velveteen Rabbit when you were younger, but it reminds me of that story. Sorry, I didn't mean to ask you a scary question. 3 to 4 years old. Nice. Yeah, that's a good few years of use, especially if you're drawing pretty consistently. My tablet is quite a bit older than that, but I don't think I really used it very much because I only had it for, I want to say, like a year and a half or 2 years before I was gifted my iPad. And once I had the iPad, I never really looked back because my tablet is not a screen tablet. It's a Just the slate. It's a Wacom Intuos, I think. Yes, an Intuos. So it doesn't have a screen, and so once I had an iPad with a screen, I was like, I'm never going back. Like $40. Nice. That's a pretty good price for a tablet. I know there's a large range of options as well. And there's a lot more brands now that are fairly common since the last time I was in the market for a tablet. Like, when I was in high school and getting my first tablet, it was like pretty much only Wacom, I feel. That was like the option. But now there's XP Pen, there's Huion, and many others whose names I can't remember right now, but you have a screenless one too. It's funny because I remember using it, and like I really did eventually get used to not having a screen. At some point, I just like didn't really notice anymore that I didn't have, or I like stopped wishing that I had one at some point, and then I was like, I can do it just fine without one. But then when I did have a screen with my iPad, I was like, how did I ever live without this? I don't know. It's interesting. Oogie. Cute. If you get a new one, do you think you'll get the same brand, or will you try something new? Nice. Yeah, if it works for you, it works for you, you know? And is affordable. That's always a pretty big factor. I hear a cat in the background. He hath awoken and is munching and crunching. Eventually I use one of those fancy drawing programs? What do you mean? What program do you use now? I'm trying to think of what I would consider a fancy drawing program. Ooh, fire alpaca. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of fire alpaca, but I don't know that I have heard from someone who's used it. I guess, except now you. But I have only heard of it as like a potential option out there. But yeah, what would you, if you were gonna transition to something, what would you try? If you know. You might not know. But I'm just curious. It's free, yeah, that's, you know, so true. Yeah, I've heard it in conjunction with things like Krita and GIMP, which I think are both also free. I think Paint Tool Sai is free, or it used to be free, but I don't remember if it is anymore. I used to use Sai for some things, but that was many, many years ago now. Yeah, Clip Studio is like what all of the internet artists use, as far as I can tell. Or at least a lot of them. Oh no, it's laggy, Krita. Yeah, I use Krita for some, there's like very niche things that I sometimes use Krita for making VTuber models, because Procreate has weird layer limit stuff going on with it that means I sometimes have to finagle things into layers in Krita, and they have some like plugins that are helpful, but I have not used it extensively. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to know if the bugs are a usual thing or not. Yeah, Procreate, the full version of Procreate does have a layer limit, which is kind of ass. It's the one, it's like, there are some things about Procreate that I'm like, I wish you had this, like, you know, some more advanced utilities would sometimes be nice, but in general, the thing about Procreate, a program that I love, that I wish was different the most often, is just fucking let me make a big ass laggy file. Just don't give me a layer limit, because I need all of those layers. You don't understand. I need them, and I don't want to merge. It's based, and what's interesting is it's not a static layer limit, so it's based off of your canvas size and also your individual iPad's RAM? I want to say RAM, but I don't know if that's the thing that it is. One of those, like, memory kinds of things. So the layer limit scales based on your hardware. Oh my gosh! Hello! Hi, Yuzu! Welcome! Thank you for the raid. Howdy, everyone. Welcome in. My name is Luna, and I am currently being bombarded by baguettes, which, honestly, thank you. Hell yeah, I'll take a baguette. or 2 or 3. I'm watercoloring my D&D character at the moment, so it's just a chill art and chatting stream. But feel free to hang around if you like, or get going if you need to do some post-stream shenanigans and chilling. But welcome and thank you. It's good to see everyone. I'm currently working on the sort of skirt area of this watercolor. I think I'm a good way into the drawing. I think we'll probably finish it today. But this is a scene from our D&D game that I play with my friends on stream every once in a blue moon. Technically every other week, but sometimes it ends up being once a month. But it's a good game with good friends, and my character and I have a complicated relationship, so I love it. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Yeah, this has been a fun piece. Lots of warm colors, of course. I'm a big fan of warm colors, so you know. What were you streaming, Yuzu? What were you guys up to? If you want to say. The complicated relationships with your own D&D characters are the best relationships. Oh my gosh, it was so nice. I had a lovely time. We didn't have a game this last Wednesday, but I was hanging out with my friends from the game, just like on Discord for a little while. It was kind of impromptu, but it was really nice. And we talked so much about our relationships to our characters and how our characters and the game have like informed our personal relationships with gender and like sexuality, and like one of the things I was talking about was bleed, like when you play a TTRPG character and their sort of feelings and experiences like kind of bleed into your own life, which I often hear people talk about as a bad thing. I don't feel particularly negatively about it because I'm very self-aware that with Tsuma, this character, I have a lot of bleed. I don't know why, because that doesn't happen to me with a lot of other characters. But for him, whatever reason, I'm just like, you and I are like this. And I feel what you feel, my guy. Ooh, talking with your cat and talking about maybe starting to booth next year. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you had fun, and hello to your cat. My cat, I can hear munching and crunching his food in the neighboring room, but he will sadly not come say hi because this is his siesta time. Despite the fact that he is awake right now, he is almost always sleeping at this time of day, so he's just getting a midnight snack, I suppose. All right. I think I'm gonna do something controversial, and it's only controversial in my own mind. But I am going to take the masking fluid off and hope that everything goes fine. because I don't think I'm gonna need it anymore, and I'm gonna hope that that's true. Let's see. For those unfamiliar, masking fluid is used for watercolors when you want to keep areas of your paper white, so that you can paint over areas without having to sort of avoid certain finicky little spots. And I have used it to do a bit of rim lighting in this piece. And I am going to take it off because I think what is happening is that the masking fluid is kind of messing up my values. We love rim lighting in this household. Yes, we do, don't we? We were talking about this, weren't we? Now, I guess we were talking about blocky shadows in the Discord, but I feel like rim lighting and blocky shadows are like this. they're always, they come together, they shake hands, they give a wink at each other from across the room, like yes, exactly. They go hand in hand. But see, these white bits are so white underneath the masking fluid, and I think I need to see them to know how the values are gonna be. So off comes the masking fluid. And I sort of thought I would underlight his hair, but then I kind of didn't do that. I don't really know what I was thinking there. I think I had a plan. I think maybe I didn't. I think I strayed from my plan, possibly. But that's okay. As I said, this piece was always intended to be experimental, and then I just thought it slapped so hard that I was like, oh, I'll make it a full piece, and then you know how it go. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. He has, my character has these like lines that are sort of like, they were inspired by kintsugi, like pottery, where you fill in the cracks of a broken piece with gold and put them back together. Which is just always an aesthetic, but it was intended to symbolize the chaos magic that he is currently housing, which is not his and is actually bad for him and kind of gave him magic cancer a little bit, like he was suffering because of this magic within him. And so that's what all these little white cracks are. He's fine now because someone used a wish on him. And, well, it wasn't just on him, but it was on the crew of our ship, of which he is a member. So someone used a wish to wish that our crew would not be negatively affected by certain magical situations, and this is one such qualifying situation. So luckily he is not suffering anymore. However, in this scene he is suffering, but that's okay because he was willing to do it for his daughter, of course. Anything for Suli, as always. Oh, doesn't that look fucking sick? Oh, it looks so good. Okay. But wait, there's more. There's more. And it's still by no means done, even though I have Even though I'm doing this, I usually do this at the end, taking off the masking fluid, but I'm doing it now because I need to check my values, and I don't think I can properly check them without taking this stuff off. And I might put some back on the gauntlets for when I paint the gauntlets, but I'm not entirely sure. Sometimes I put it on thin enough that I can't quite see it, and I have to sort of just like touch the paper to see if it feels rubbery or not in certain areas. Oh my gosh, there's so many this slaps painting. This painting can fit so many cat hairs inside of it. I swear to God. So when I was cutting this paper, the sheets of this particular kind of paper come in like 22-inch by 30-inch massive sheets, and I don't ever paint that big because fuck that. And so I had the paper on the ground, just like in my living room, and I was cutting it on the floor, and I stepped away for like 5 minutes to go, I don't remember what I was doing. Maybe I went to the bathroom, maybe I got a glass of water. It was something like that. It was like only a few minutes. And I came back, and of course my cat, who had been nowhere to be seen, just like sleeping somewhere, I don't know, had understood immediately that I had left my charge unattended. And I came back and he was just sitting on it, looking so sweet and like, oh, you left this for me. You gave me this. And I'm like, no, that was not for you, but I guess it was in a way. I guess ultimately it was sort of for you. Average cat activity, yeah. It was extremely predictable that would happen, and yet somehow I did not predict it, but that's really on me. Let's see. Oh, also, I'm an idiot. Hang on. I never get raids, so I totally forgot to do this, but let me give you a little shout out, Yuzu. I'm so sorry, I forgot to do that. I am so unused to seeing people rating. I was like, I feel like there's something else I should do, and I just forgot. I'm so sorry. Your cat has been hounding you for the past hour to feed him. Why won't you do it? He's asking so nicely. Okay, I think I got all of the masking fluid. And I think that looks a lot better than I thought. Now that the white parts are actually white and not sort of pale yellow, I do feel a lot better about it. I do think that I wish... Let's see, what do I wish? I'm like looking back at this I'm looking at the OBS thumbnail, and I'm like, what does it need? And maybe it doesn't need anything. I mean, besides the parts that like aren't finished, but maybe... I do think it needs something. I just don't know what it is. I think Tsuma's body needs to be darker somehow. I'm just not sure how to do it without... I really don't want to ruin it by adding anything else that I shouldn't add. Ah! I don't know what to do! Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it in post. I don't know. Maybe I'll just finish the parts that need to be finished, and then I'll maybe at the end I'll decide if I maybe what I'll do, and this is kind of cheating, but it's not cheating because it's an actual resource and thing that I can do, and it's not cheating, is maybe I will just scan it once I've colored in the parts that need to be colored in. I'll scan it and then I'll add another layer. Because if I ruin it by adding another layer where I shouldn't, I'm gonna freaking just be so pissed off at myself for doing that. At least if I scan it first, the physical copy might be a little funny looking, but I'll have a copy. I'll have a backup that I can be like, oh yeah, I meant to do it like this. It was this the whole time, actually. I do think that that's fair. And if I can't get it to work with watercolor, I would like to figure out how to make it work with watercolors, but if I can't, I'll just do it with a little digital post-processing. And I'll simply say that is fine. But okay, for real now, I'm gonna take my break because I have been saying that I was gonna do that for half an hour. I will be right back. I will see y'all soon. Hello, hello. Welcome back. What's going on? Painting something? Allegedly? Okay, let's paint, shall we? But first I have to figure out what part. What part am I going to do next? Gotta finish the parts that I have not even done at all, which is the ribbon and the waistband thing. And then we can figure out the rest from there. And this, no, I will do that after I do the ribbon. I gotta get my ruler and check something real quick. But I don't think I've ever done an expose on Tsuma's little green ribbon, like on stream or anything. But it is a little semi-gift. It's a little ribbon that was taken from his lover that he met early on in the campaign. And that when they had their like first kiss, I don't remember exactly. I would have to go back exactly the timeline of events, but I'm pretty sure Tsuma like reached up to Aaron's hair and like took out the hair ribbon to sort of encourage Aaron to let his hair down a little bit. And I think he took the ribbon, and I've just sort of been headcanon. I don't think this was ever said in session. I think I've just sort of been headcanoning that Tsuma just stole the ribbon. I think he like took it out of Aaron's hair, and then I just sort of was like, and this is part of my character design now, this ribbon. Because you know, he wants to have a keepsake, right? It's just a ribbon, surely Aaron won't miss it. It's funny because until now I was like convinced that Aaron had sort of bequeathed it to me, but now that I'm thinking back, I actually don't really know if that's true. I kind of am wondering now if maybe Tsuma just stole it, / I stole it by including it in my character design all these years. I don't know. I'd have to check the tapes. Luckily we have tapes that I can check, but I don't know. But now I've tattooed it on my actual body, so I can't take it back now. It's whatever the case may have been, it is now fully mine. My ribbon. I remember my tattoo artist, who is awesome, like accidentally forgot to include the ribbon in the tattoo design that I was getting. And I was like, I know this sounds extremely particular, but I really need this ribbon for character reasons. So, you know, it's important to me. Even though it does not fit my color scheme whatsoever. That's fine. Okay, so I think that's fine. It didn't need to be complex. It's fine just like that, I think. You know, sometimes you just have that one little accessory that you're like, this one little accessory is integral to my character's whole deal. And I need it. For whatever reason it may be. Now I'm gonna pull up my own toy house because I need to check my character design for something. Let's see. Tsuma, what color is your skirt thingy? Oh, interesting. His skirt part is actually a little bit darker than I've drawn it. But do I care? Maybe I care a little bit. Maybe I do care a little bit. Okay, I guess I'll make the skirt darker. It really is more of that Perline Violet dark red. I just need to figure out what brush I'm going to use for it. I think I'm going to use... I'll just use this one again. Did I... When I was on break, I went to the bathroom, I got fresh water, but I didn't get fresh watercolor water. Hang on. I'll be like 2 minutes. I'm not even gonna put you on the BRB screen. Might not even be 2 minutes. I might be less than a minute. Who knows? I'm back. I bet that wasn't even a minute. I bet it was like 30 seconds. I was looking at my paint water and I was like, that doesn't look so clean. I know I just took a break. It really should be cleaner than that. And so anyway. Okay. I just forgore, that's all. I just simply forgore. Yeah, that's just how it be. It's true. It's also Friday. I always think I'm gonna be very industrious on a Friday afternoon, but as soon as I leave school in the morning on a Friday, I'm like, I'm done. I'm checked out. And it's like, you still have to stream, you know? You were gonna stream today? And I'm like, oh, really? I said that, yeah. And I did not get... Oh, I did get a fair amount of sleep last night, but I was so tired this morning. When I woke up, I was completely out. And I had to go be a person, and that was so hard for some reason. I don't know why. Because I feel like this week I was like waking up pretty early and feeling pretty awake when I woke up, but today I was... No. I was eepy. I was so eepy. And I'm still catching up a little bit from that. Me thinks. Me do thinks. This past week has barely existed for you. Yeah, I feel that. Have it been busy for you? I can talk. What? Have you just been really busy, or something else? Put like 40 hours into a game and did nothing else. Legit. What game are you playing? Out of curiosity. Ooh, Outer Worlds. How did you like it? That is on my gotta play this someday, came highly recommended as something I might like, but I haven't tried it yet list. You enjoyed it. Nice. Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. From friends and people who enjoyed, I think, similar games. Is it a first person? Is it a first person game? Is it a shooter game? That's totally not what I would have thought it was, based on the other games that I've heard it recommended to be similar to. Whoa, really? That's fascinating. That is not what I would have expected. Now I'm like, am I thinking of the right game? But Outer World, I think I am. Let me just check that I'm thinking of the right game. Oh, you know what? I'm conflating it with Outer Wilds, which is totally different. Yes, exactly. I was like, sure, I really don't think the game I'm thinking of was a shooter, but yeah, I was thinking of Outer Wilds. Yeah, it does sound sort of Mass Effect-y though, Outer Worlds. Oh wow, it's fairly recent. I mean, 2019 is not the oldest game. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. Because I knew that they were both sci-fi, and the names are so similar. But yes, you're right. Ooh, the screenshots I'm seeing look interesting. It's got kind of cool art style. Like the scenery looks really cool. Well, nice. I might have to look into that now that I know that it's a whole different game than what I was thinking of. But yeah, I don't like shooters either, and I don't really like first-person games either, but I really like Mass Effect, so I kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt, like... intentionally cheesy and heavy-handed. Yeah. That's fair. You can lean into the vibe sometimes, you know? Ooh, yeah, being able to talk your way out of situations. Nice when a game gives you that option and it actually, like, is a legit way to play the game. Yeah. I can definitely see that. Yapping my way out of the worst possible things. Yeah, of course. When I played Baldur's Gate for the first time, Baldur's Gate 3 specifically, when I first encountered... Oh god, what is his name? The big demon boy. Yugor? What is his name? Yurgir. Thank you. I was like, I know it starts with a Y. I know it starts with, when I first encountered Yurgir, I had such a fucking hard time fighting him. He was asked to fight, like, because I didn't really have at the time anything that could help me with invisibility, but I also didn't want to go all the way back to like a really far back save to go get something that could help me with it. So I was just like, I'm just gonna raw dog this fight, and it sucked, but I did it. And when I encountered him in Raphael's thing, in Raphael's house, in the House of Hope, I managed to convince Yurgir to join me instead. And that was fucking sick as hell. Oh my god, having Yurgir on my side, I was like, I know I'm playing a paladin, but listen, she's practical. She's practical, and she knows that this is gonna go really, really badly if he is not on our side. And so he helped with that fight, I want to say, and he helped with the Elder Brain, and it was great. I loved having him along. It was just the fight in the Temple of Shar that was the worst thing. I'm trying to think of a fight I hated more than that one, and I'm having trouble thinking of one that I hated more than that one. I can't think of one off the top of my head. There were some other ones that were hard, but that one was one where I was just frustrated because I didn't have the tools that would have made it not be frustrating. Just based on like what party members I had and blah blah. But yeah. And then when my partner played Baldur's Gate 3 and I was watching, I just like was watching them play it while they were playing. And they totally kicked Yurgir's ass and in that fight, and I was like, how did you do that? It did not go this way for me. It did not go this way. I was very impressed. Very impressed indeed. Oh yeah, the Viconia fight is hard. That one was pretty tough. And the shadow guys in Act 2. Which shadow guys? Because I can think of a lot of shadow guys. Was it the ones in the... Oh no. Well, there were a lot of shadow guys. But all of the shadow guys kind of suck. They can just ambush you while walking around. Yeah, and they do happily do that. Exactly. I need to do another playthrough of Baldur's Gate because I need to redeem myself and save Roland. Because in my playthrough, Roland for some reason ran off by himself into the darkness. And I didn't know that, and he's like in a corner of the map that if you don't walk over there, you might just never know that it is there. And when I was watching my partner's playthrough, he just like randomly found Roland in this corner, and I was like, so that's where Roland was the whole time. He disappeared completely from my playthrough, and I thought it was a bug. But no, it was because he stormed off to some random fuck-ass corner of the map, and I never found him. And I assume he got eaten by shadows. I love him. So I also didn't, I mean, obviously I didn't save all the tieflings because he is included in that, but I also wouldn't have saved all the tieflings regardless because I fucked some other stuff up as well, but so I need to do another one. Oh no, I have to do another Ballroom gameplay through. Oh no. So sad. Our entire party died except for Astarion. And somehow between Scrolls and Thief Rogue being the best subclass, I was able to clutch up. My gosh, Thief is so good. I tried to do something else for a short time and then was like, yeah, but it is so good though. So actually I'm going back because that's the one where you get the 2 bonus actions, right? It's, yeah, it's really good. And when I didn't have them, I was like, I don't know how I like could live without these. They're just so nice to have. It made me consider changing my Bard Rogue subclass in BG3 because it's so good. Even though Assassin fits better thematically. Yeah. I agree. I agree. It's just really good. And I could see why you would want it for the practicality of it all. For sure. I had briefly started a honor mode playthrough, which I kind of abandoned because I can only play Baldur's Gate at my like big desktop computer, which is upstairs because my laptop is pretty good, but it's too weak to run Baldur's Gate. And so I have to do it at the desktop. And so I never finished the honor mode playthrough, but when I did, that was where I had tried to switch Astarion to be an assassin because I was like, I don't know, maybe he would perform even better if he did like, you know, big damage and, you know, killing people better maybe. But actually he didn't outperform his other subclass. I would even say that lacking a bonus action kind of nerfed him a little bit because he didn't have an offhand attack. I mean, he could have an offhand attack, but then he can't, you know, hide or whatever. And so I switched him back and was like, sorry, Withers, I made a mistake. Changed my mind. And I was also like, because Astarion was one of the characters that in my first and complete playthrough, I always had Astarion. Like, I never did not have Astarion because I didn't have any other people who could do lockpicking. So I was like, I need him to steal everything that is not nailed down, which he did gladly. And so I was so used to how he worked that when it was different, I was like, all these things that I thought that he could do, like, I'm just so used to playing him this way, and now he works different, and I don't understand, and I don't have the muscle memory to do it any differently from how I have been doing it this whole time. So... that was one of the fun things of a co-op playthrough, was seeing how differently you and your friend would build the characters. Yeah, for sure. I've been doing a co-op playthrough with one of my friends who plays D&D regularly with me. And it's funny because we each have a buff lady, because she's a warlock and I'm Tsuma, so I'm a wizard. And she has Karlach and I have Lae'zel, and so it's been fun to have just like each of us have a big strong lady to kit out in all the big armors and special arrows and fancy weapons that neither of us can use because we're both little puny magic user people, but we're like, give it to the ladies. They are so strong, they can carry all these things around and use all the cool swords. Lae'zel is my beloved. Oh my god, I love Lae'zel so much. No one understands except for other people who love Lae'zel, but I know there are Lae'zel non-understanders out there, and I can't imagine it because I love her so much. Our playthrough was literally the Gith Lovers squad. It was very funny. That's awesome. I support it. That's great. Lae'zel was my main playthrough love interest, and it was awesome. I can't imagine romancing anyone else, to be honest. I think it would just always be Lae'zel for me. I'll never change. You, a Gith monk, friend, romancing Lae'zel, and Gale, who I romance, so obviously he is a Gith lover. Of course! That's awesome. I love that. That's great. Gith enjoyers unite. Gale was who I was intending to romance, except I was not perceptive enough to get the hint when there's like the early scene where he like is teaching you magic and you can like look romantically into his eyes or something, or you can just say like, Thanks for teaching me magic. Which is what I did, because I'm an idiot. I was like, maybe there'll be another chance. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to, it's so early on. Like, is it too forward to look romantically into his eyes right now? So I missed it. And then he friend-zoned me for the rest of the game. But I found Lae'zel, so it's fine, and I don't actually need, I am not sad about it anymore. I was sad for about like 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, and then Lae'zel was like, "You smell fucking delicious," and I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I guess I'm doing this now." But you know, okay. I think it's just the gauntlets now that I have left. And then I'll scan it. And then maybe I'll fix it, or at least I'll try to fix it. And maybe I will just leave it. Who can say? Gale and Lae'zel both have a thing for Tav's smell. Lae'zel is just more honest about it, or more overt about it. That, you know, that tracks. I'm glad she was so forward, because there were a lot of romance cues that I think I could have missed, or just been like, because it was my first playthrough and I was trying to be as spoiler free as possible. So I think there are a lot of things that would have either gone over my head, or I would have been like, surely, like, I'll be able to take more romance options later. And it's like, no, you had to have picked this one dialogue very early in the game, or else they won't do it. And I would have been maidenless for the rest of the game. So I was really glad that Lae'zel was very forward about her wants and desires. Like, I also have no idea how anyone has ever romanced Karlach. Like, I think it's possible. I feel like I've heard people say they've done it, but I don't know how you would, because she is so, like, I don't know what the word for what she is would be, but she is just sort of, like, not very open about herself in that way. Like, she clearly wants to be intimate, but she's scared of it for, you know, for reasons I understand. But I personally never could find an opening where I was like, oh yeah, like, maybe this way. Although I do think some of that comes a little bit later in the game. I don't know, maybe not though, but I don't know. Possibly with it, by the time I could possibly have been romancing Karlach, I was already romancing Lae'zel, but I don't know. I just feel like I never found an opening there. I think it would be one of the things I really want to do at some point, if I ever, you know, because it takes a lot to do a whole nother playthrough, but I would love to do a playthrough of playing as Will and romance Karlach. I think that would be so fun and interesting. A different friend almost exclusively romances Karlach, and I still don't know, but Karlach is a little meh for me in game, unfortunately. I like her as a person a lot. Like, I think she's very sweet and she's very strong, very beautiful. But I think, like, something about her storyline is difficult for me to get as into as some of the other storylines. I think just because she is so cagey about it and like sort of tries to pull away from you a lot and won't let her help you as much as you sort of want to. And I felt that for me, that was a little bit hard because I think also partially this is just based on the character I was playing and how I was characterizing my character. But my character was like, I will help you if you want help. Like, we can figure this out. And she's like, well, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to make trouble for you. Like, I don't know if this is even possible. I don't want to think about it. I just want to be like myself. I just want to live. Like, I don't want to think about Avernus anymore. And I'm like, okay, if you say so, like, I guess we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to talk about it, but like, I'm here for you, girl. But then if you don't push her on it, she dies. And I learned, I don't know if this happened to you guys in your playthrough, but what I learned is that if you let her die, or if she dies, not like you let her die, but if she dies at the end, and if you're romancing Lae'zel, what happened to me was that I flew away with Lae'zel on the dragons happily ever after to the astral plane or whatever the fuck we're gonna do before the Karlach dying scene. And also before the Karlach dying scene, Astarion, like, it gets burnt by the sun, it has to run away. And so no one is fucking there on the docks to be with her when she dies because I've just flown off on our two big fuck off dragons. And Astarion left, and Will is just sort of standing there. I don't know what the fuck everyone else is doing. But, like, I felt really bad because my character had told her, like, you know, if you're gonna die, I'll be there with you at the end, and I will, you know, I'll be there for you at the end. And then just because of the order in which the cutscenes happened, my character wasn't there because, she had flown away on the dragon. Oh my god, I hated that. It was so, it was awful. And I was like, I want to be happy about flying off into the sunset with Lae'zel because that's all I've ever wanted to do, but can't I just stay 5 more minutes to shepherd Karlach into the afterlife? Like, oh my god, I can't even think about it. It makes me so mad. Oh, it makes me so mad. Even to this day, I just can't think about it. Anyway, I know that they're not fixing it anymore, but if I had one wish for you left with Lae'zel on the dragon. Oh, because Gith. Oh, but you were in for Rude Awakening. Oh no, was Gale mad that you flew off without him? Uh-oh. Oh no. Tension. I mean, I guess I kind of get it. But yeah, no. Some of these things just can't be helped, Gail. It was truly the most tense moment in our entire playthrough. Oh my gosh, I bet. I bet. Absolutely, I could see that. In my partner's playthrough, they had chosen to have their character turn into a mind flayer instead of Orpheus turning into the mind flayer. Which I was really surprised by, but it totally made sense in retrospect. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. And they had been romancing Halcyon, and at the party, like the after party, they started having like weird mind flayer urges. Like, you just want to sink your teeth into Halcyon's brain. And we had to make some checks to be like, no, don't bite Halcyon's brain off. Don't suck his brain. Oh my gosh, and made it funnier was my friend's Dirge talking to Gale, and Gale being the happiest guy ever. That's so funny. Gale was saving all of the hot sauce for you. And yeah, it was crazy. I fully had not expected, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but I was so shook. And we had to make a roll. We had to make a check. Like, what would have happened if we'd failed the check? I don't know. I guess I do kind of want to know. But, it was just like an overwhelming mind flayer urge that tried to overcome them. It was fascinating. We turned Orpheus into the mind flayer because he pissed us off. No, that's fair. Orpheus? I mean, I definitely turned Orpheus into the mind flayer because... Oh no, Halcyon got caught by Orin. Oh no. Orpheus got turned into a mind flayer in my playthrough because I was romancing Lae'zel, and I don't know what would have happened if it had been the other way around, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Lae'zel would not be hot on fraternizing with a mind flayer. I just don't think that would really be her jam. So I was like, I am so sorry. Like, I can't. My wife will be so mad at me if I do that. So, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to turn into a mind flayer. But you know. And I think Halcyon is also who Orin stole in our playthrough as well, I want to say. Because I think she doesn't take the person that you're romancing, if I recall correctly. And so she couldn't take Lae'zel, so I think she took Halcyon instead. Because it can only be a few very specific people, if I recall, which is strange and interesting. We were hoping she'd take Lae'zel or Gale. Right after she took Halcyon, we learned she wouldn't take them because romance. Yes. Exactly. And I think, can't she only take... I don't remember if Gale is on the list, but I know it's Lae'zel, Halsin, Minthara, and maybe one other character, maybe Gale. And then if none of them are available because of romance or not being in the party, she takes the young child. But yeah, I was very relieved because if she had taken Lae'zel, I would have had to drop everything to Hy-Vee, hence right away. But I guess it makes sense that they would not let it be your romanceable or your romance character, because like they can just perma-die in that scene. And I think because it's Ball, like you can't revive them if they die in that scene, right? So they probably wouldn't want to be like, sorry you were romancing this character the whole game, but wait, we killed them. And you can't have them back. Okay, so Gale is one of them. I see. Couldn't remember if he was on the list, but yeah. Yeah, Yenna. Yeah, but you could use a Revivify scroll. Oh, you can? For some reason I thought, but I could be wrong, I had thought that you, like, it was like a death such that you couldn't use a Revivify scroll, but maybe that's not right. I just feel like I remember we had to reload because someone had died, but I might be remembering incorrectly. We just chose not to revive Halsin. Goodbye, Halsin. You're a nice man, but you know, sometimes you get got by an evil shape changer lady, and it just doesn't go very well. It's just a part of nature, in a way, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to add a couple of accents to the little chaos areas. And we barely interacted with him, so it is what it is. Yeah, it's true. In I like Gale, but in our co-op playthrough that I'm playing with my D&D friend, we forgot to feed Gale one too many times, and luckily such events did not transpire that he exploded, but we did tell him like, oh, we'll feed you later one too many times, and he was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. So he left. He's gone from that playthrough, which is so sad. But I am a wizard, so you know, the role is kind of fulfilled. Yeah, it was sad. I feel like if he had stayed around, my character might have ended up romancing him because, I don't know, wizard on wizard love seems, you know, you're teaching each other spells and it's all very, you know, you've got the hand gestures, you're spending lots of time in close quarters reading together, and I don't know. I feel like there could have been a little something there, but he was pretty upset. He was pretty hungry, so it didn't work out. Maybe I will just never romance Gale. Not on purpose, but just for some reason, every playthrough something will conspire to keep me from romancing Gale. It'd be so sad. Not intentional, not intentional. Oh, nice. Yes, deciding not to romance the characters you just romanced. Makes sense. It's good to try new things, even if, but a Gale plus sorcerer romance would be so funny, though. Just, like, theoretically, it would be very amusing, because there's such, playful animosity to be had in those dialogue options. I feel like a big part of why I would want to try romancing Gale is because I really like Terra. And I would want Terra to be proud of me and love me, and approve of me. But maybe I should just play as Gale, and then she'll talk to me and be proud of me. Maybe that's what I should do. I did briefly consider playing a honor mode run as Gale. Because then when you get to the end, you can beat honor mode by blowing up the Elder Brain with Gale's powers, but you don't have to feel like you're being mean because you're sacrificing yourself instead of being like, Gale, why don't you sacrifice yourself? Ooh, romance Will or Minthara. Those are two very different options, but I'm here for it. Either one sounds interesting. Your character is going through it. Oh no. What's happening? What's happening to your poor character? We're playing a morally selfish game where our PCs were in a criminal group together. Ooh, That sounds interesting. And our characters are the only ones left of said group because of the mind flayers. Oh no. R.I.P. to everyone else. Excellent inks material though. Ooh. Your dream visitors are members of the group. That sounds cool. I like that. I like that as a concept. That is a cool concept, to be sure. Oh no. I really like all the lore that you've given your characters. It would be fun to play BG3 that way, I feel. With like more than just a blank slate. Okay. A rogue from a survivalist druid grove. Ooh. I'm curious about that. A survivalist? Like, I have so many images come to my mind when I think of what a survivalist druid grove would be like. I'm gonna try one more little layer here, and I'm just gonna see if hopefully I don't fuck this up. I'm gonna just hope that I don't fuck this up really bad. Ooh, survival of the fittest. That makes sense. Okay, I'm not touching this anymore. Sometimes when I'm doing watercolor, there comes a point at which I'm like, if I touch it anymore, I'm gonna fuck something up. And so it's done. And I just know. Not every time, sometimes I'm like, maybe it's done, maybe it's not. No. I'm not touching this anymore. Except for digitally, maybe. I just know that it is at that point, and that is fine with me because I'm eepy. I feel like in digital art, that point comes, maybe never at all, but much later after I've done a lot of things I probably didn't need to do. But in watercolor, I feel like you really gotta know, because in watercolor, you can't take that shit back. You can't take anything back. Whatever you put is there forever, and you will see it, and you can't take it back. Unless like Haley was saying before, you can use a magic eraser, which, sounds really cool. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind how it would work, but I don't know. Interested in finding that out. But I'm gonna untape this and see what I think of it untaped. Pardon my tape ASMR. And there we go. There she is, a piece of paper. Wahoo! I think one of the coolest parts about making traditional art is when you have like a finished piece and you're like, woohoo, it's a piece of paper. It has my thingy on it. And it's so fun. It's just, I don't know, it's cool. I like to hold it in my little hands. But yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for me for today. I was gonna go a little longer, but I think a half an hour, 45 minutes is a little bit silly of a time to try to start something new. So I'm gonna call it good. And I will be back next week, I'm sure, for more art shenanigans, whatever that may end up being. But thanks for hanging out with me. It was lovely to chat with you. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I will see you later. Bye for now. Yeah, ta.